Confirm here. All right, we are live. All right, everybody, welcome to TrendSpider Live. My name is Mike, and today I am joined by an extremely honorable guest, Mr. Tom Sosnoff. He's the founder and CEO of tastylive, co-founded Thinkorswim, co-founded tastytrade. So definitely knows a thing or two about trading platforms and the industry as we go ahead and watch Robinhood earnings take place right here live. So Tom, thank you so much for joining up. And feel free to introduce yourself. Really great to have you, though.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Mike. I'm Tom Sosnoff, and happy to be here today, and happy to answer any questions anybody has. Not really questions, but happy to talk about, the markets and earnings today. We had Microsoft, Meta, RBLX, and Hood. So I mean, there's more than that, but those are kind of the four big ones.
Definitely. Yeah, I figured I would just put Hood up there. Wow, Microsoft and Meta actually skyrocketed up just now. But yeah, I figured I'd put Hood up there just because, founded, tastytrade. You did Thinkorswim, which is not a broker, it's a platform, but tastytrade, it's the broker. So I'm sure you have a lot of good insights. And I'm just curious on your overall thoughts of, the whole Robinhood revolution. It wasn't that long ago when Robinhood came out and really changed the financial trading world for everybody with their no commission fees. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious on your thoughts on the company, how they've progressed, and their effect on retail traders everywhere. Do you think it's been a good thing overall?
Oh, sure, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, anytime you introduce, trading and financial markets to millions and millions of people that might not have accessed them before, of course, it's a great thing. I mean, it's Robinhood has been a transformational company in that regard. I mean, they did something that a lot of us tried to do, but they caught a certain kind of let's call it a streak of virality that was really hard to do. God knows I tried, but I mean, and we built some amazing companies, but Robinhood, give Vlad a lot of credit. He did a great job, and for many years, I mean, they were just kind of stuck in the basement and almost trading almost trading very close to the level of cash that they had, and then all of a sudden, the stock kind of in the last year really exploded and took off. It's more, I think that this is a stock that has tracked crypto more than it's tracked the rest of the industry. So, I mean, I looked at Robinhood as kind of, this quote transformational company over the years, but now I think it's highly correlated with the crypto industry and highly correlated with, with different digital assets.
Yeah, for sure. I was looking into, their revenue by segment, and a good portion of their revenue is definitely from crypto. I think it was like 25-30% is from crypto transactions. And then another good portion was options trading, which is interesting because everyone knows them as, the quote unquote zero commission broker, even for options. So I don't know, maybe you have some insight there as to like, what is the catch there? Most brokers don't opt.
There's no catch. I mean, the reason they have free commissions is because they have a very limited platform, technology wise. It's it's mobile first. It has limited functionality, limited products, it's a very basic platform. And in return for that, they decided to go the free route, and it was a great decision on their part from a business side, because they were able to, essentially blow up the business. And they've really changed the world of option trading, because not only have they brought a lot of people into the mix, but they've also added a ton to the order flow. So, they're a huge player. So whatever you want to say about the technology or the model or whatever else, they've changed the industry in a good way. And that's really hard to do. So you got to give them credit. I mean, they've been an amazing firm.
No. Yeah, I agree. They've done crazy good things for the market, and they have some amazing innovation. Like all the stuff that they bring to the table, like even since the day one, they had zero commission, trades since day one. They've been innovating, and ever since then, they're just always doing some new stuff. They have their $5 subscription fee for Robinhood Gold, which gives people APY on their cash. They've tried to become a bank. I think in the past, they're offering credit cards, They're getting into prediction markets. Just so many different things that they're trying, you know?
Well, they do throw a lot of stuff at the wall. I mean, I'm a competitor, so I got to be careful because I don't want to say, "Oh my God, this is the greatest firm since sliced bread," because the bottom line is, I think all their customers should be trading at Tasty. So, I mean, I'm here because I'm friends with those guys. I like them. We've been friends for a long time. I think they've learned a lot of what they learned on Thinkorswim. So I think that they're good dudes. They're good people, and I really respect them as business people. But I'm also a competitor, and I want to rip their hearts out. So it's the same thing. So it's hard for me to sit here and say, okay, this and that. Because I'm very competitive. But
I hear you.
They're technology first. We're technology first. They're they've really done a good job on the mobile side, and they've really done a good job with kind of their, like I mentioned before, the culture that they've delivered and the message they've delivered it's been quite good. And they pivoted right into, into crypto at the right time. Now, if you look at their earnings today, the stock had an implied move of just under $10. By the time it closed today, it was just over $9, and it's up 60 cents right now. So I think from an earnings standpoint, from a premium seller standpoint, this is quite a delicious move for those of us that like to sell premium. And so we'll take the 50-cent move in Robinhood and consider that the gift of, a little bit of a gift from the gods. Roblox, the same thing so far. I don't know if the RBLX earnings have actually come out. Stock's up about $1.50, but I'm not sure if the earnings have come out in there. But in the other two big earnings plays, I mean, Microsoft, that's a huge move in there. The stock is $5.49 and it closed at $5.13. The implied move in there was $20, and the actual move was 36 right now. So the Microsoft move is huge. That's about 1.5 times the expected move. Meta is up about 70. It looks like about $70, and the expected move in Meta was about 40. So I think you have two stocks here in Meta and Microsoft that both surprised to the upside. Robinhood, not so much. And again, we'll see what RBLX actually does. The implied move in there is $16, and right now it's, like I said, up about $1.50. I don't think the earnings are out.
Yeah. I was just looking at Meta and Microsoft. It looks like RBLX. Not sure how this lines up with your guys, but we do have some options data from Mentor Q in here that has, the 1-day max, 1-day min plotted on our charts, which is pretty cool. And I'm looking here at Meta. It looks like the 1-day max. Not sure how this lines up with the Tasty platform, but I think it had about 727 there. And this one is.
Are you talking about the implied move?
Yeah, the one day, implied move on the top side.
In Meta, it was about I want to say it was just under $40. I'm sorry, I'm looking at Microsoft Meta. Let's see. In Meta, the implied move was I think it was just under $40, and it's about it's close to 70 right now. So it's almost it's almost 2 times the expected move.
Yeah. No, it's up there for sure. And it looks like they killed it on earnings from what I'm seeing. Looks like a 6% surprise on revenue, it looks like, and 21% on EPS from Meta. Let's take a look at Microsoft. I mean, this is powerhouse tech companies just doing their thing, growing revenue, growing EPS. Pretty much every quarter, you see all these green bars here on our platform, just like beating EPS and revenue every single time. So, yeah, but it's crazy. Let's check out the day. Wow, look at that daily chart. Yeah, just right to all-time highs.
I think Microsoft and Meta are two of the most overpriced stocks in the NASDAQ right now.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're both. I mean, the moves have been hyperbolic, but the pot odds at these levels, I do not like either of these stocks up here. I mean, I'm not saying that, you got to sell them today or whatever it is.
Right.
I do not like these moves here. And I would think that, this is going to be an amazing opportunity up here, especially for Microsoft. Every time
about the short,
from the short side. I just think it's really good pot odds up here. I mean, I think you risk a little to make a lot type thing.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, with this crazy move, I mean, Microsoft's move is like insane from the April low. I think they might have one of the craziest moves up. Like their last earnings, they had similar move right up, and then they just
Yeah.
been chugging and chugging up like nonstop.
I mean, it's
So
crazy. And remember, it's a $4 trillion company now.
yeah,
Or pretty close to it. I mean, you're not
yeah,
talking about, you're not talking about moving like a little, a little rowboat. You're talking about
yeah,
a cruise ship out here.
right, right,
And
right.
at these levels, Microsoft's, I mean, I would argue it's ridiculous, but let's see. I mean, right now it's two times the expected move. So I think it's kind of, that
Yeah,
usually stretches it, but we'll see what happens tomorrow.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I mean, crazy move. The Microsoft move is the most surprising of them all.
Yeah, that was very crazy. So what do you think of Nvidia then? If you're saying Microsoft, is one of the most overvalued companies, how do you think of Nvidia? Do you think it's more fairly priced?
No, I think
No.
they're
Okay.
both. I mean, if you want of the big, 7 or 10 stocks in the Nasdaq, there's only one that I think is cheap relative, and that's probably Apple.
Yep, I had a
And I'm
feeling
talking
you'd
about
say
just
that.
based on price, because
Yeah.
Apple's trading 209. It's what is it? It's down for the year. It's lower. It's the
Yeah.
only stock that's underperformed. There's a few others you
Right.
might be able to make a case that they're, you know, like the Teslas of the world. They're not crazy overpriced right here. But Microsoft, um, Amazon, those are and Meta. Those are tough pulls right here. If
I'd
you're going to
agree.
buy them on a
Yeah,
hyperbolic move. I mean,
for sure.
Google not so much. Tesla not so much, and Apple definitely not so much. But
Yeah.
those other ones, man, that's a tough buy up here.
Yeah. So when you say valuation, I'm curious because I know you're more of an options trader, less focus on fundamentals and probably
Yeah,
even less so on technicals. What are you
yeah.
actually, basing your valuations off?
Nothing. I mean, I don't look at. I'm not a technical person at all, and I don't
Yeah.
look at fundamentals either. I mean, I'm a kind of a junkie for just watching the tape and looking at
Yep.
volatility and things like that. I'm kind of I'm a back of the envelope expected move person who looks at what the market's pricing in and then what the stock ultimately does.
Mhm.
And in the case of Microsoft, you're talking like almost a 5 or 6 standard deviation move relative to what was expected.
Right.
And so, that's the kind of thing where, you just start saying, well, at some point, there's a crazy extreme here. I don't know when
Yeah.
it's going to end, but there's a crazy extreme here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, that's all I care about. I mean, the story, you know, as an efficient market kind of theorist, the story's already priced in. I couldn't care. I could care less. Like, I don't really, that's why Tasty is all about, just it's probabilistic analysis. We're just a think tank that deals in just quantitative looks at markets, has nothing to do with the fundamental story or the technical story or anything like
Exactly.
that. We
Yeah.
just price extreme is very subjective. It doesn't matter how you get there. It's just subjective.
Right. And so, yeah, you rely mostly on, back tests, options back tests, statistics, probabilities,
Yeah,
all that good stuff,
yeah.
which is good. I mean, that's what really, as a trader, you should be doing. Like,
It's just a
there is a,
different way. It's just a different way.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, on TrendSpider, we have, back testing as well. There's no options back testing, but it's based on, you can really do anything you want in the strategies, mostly technical wise, like moving average crossovers. You can even throw really anything like new highs, like trend following strategies, stuff like that. And so we're really pretty big on that too, like back testing strategy. We have a whole TrendSpider store. I can probably just pull it up real quick. Show you real quick. We have a whole bunch of custom indicators and strategies right here on our store that is completely free for all of our users to import, just based on different stuff, Bollinger Bands, breakouts, EMA crosses and all that. And we're just constantly testing stuff too, see what works, over time. And we really just, put a bunch of stuff together, put on the store and let our users just, explore what they want. You can go in and modify it however you want, custom code indicators to put in parameters to buy and sell and all that stuff. So yeah, we kind of agree on that sense. But we look at everything, we have fundamentals on our platform. We can throw, revenue on the chart if we wanted right here. And it's, it's, if you look at something like Hood on the revenue, like the price does follow the revenue growth. Like I think there's definitely an argument to say that it's, worth checking out, some fundamentals like EPS growth, all that good stuff. But again, yeah, just different ways to do it. In our platform, you can scan for fundamentals and technicals. We're really working to get more options data in though, because options are awesome. What do you think of prediction markets, Tom? Because I think prediction markets are honestly kind of almost like a new variation of an option. They're event contracts,
Yeah.
They have probabilities tied to them.
It's interesting to me because I'm all for adding as many different types of markets, into this business as possible. The issue with prediction markets is they're incredibly inefficient right now. So when you trade a prediction market, you give up about 1% to make the trade. And when you trade an option market, you give up anywhere from 1/10 to 1/100th. So you're basically talking about you give up anywhere from 1 basis point to 10 basis points. When you trade a prediction market, you give up 100 basis points.
Right.
So it's better than going to DraftKings, but
yeah,
it's worse than any other market that we offer in any product. So prediction markets, by definition, are incredibly inefficient right now because there's only a few firms that make markets, and the markets are not very good. So whether you go to Kalshi or some other prediction marketplace, whether it's on Robinhood or one of the other firms that have it, these are really inefficient markets, and over time, very difficult, if not impossible. It's like gambling. It's literally gambling, and
it is
not nearly as good as what we do in all the other parts of our business.
No, yeah, 100% agreed. So we actually partnered with Polymarket, and we don't allow people to trade, prediction markets, obviously, but there are some cool ones there just to like look at on the chart, just to see what's kind of going on. It could be actually useful for traders. Some of these, like this one, for example, is how many Fed rate cuts are there going to be in 2025?
Yeah.
And this thing will move up and down. And it's honestly like, it's a really up-to-date way, I guess, to keep on track of, like specific real world events. There's different stuff on here. Like, they had Fed decision in July. I'm sure they're going to have one for Fed decision in September. And we allow, our TrendSpider traders to set alerts on them. And so like if Fed rate cuts odds are like going up or down, they can get alerted, which I don't know, it could be useful, I guess, for traders, if you're trading bonds or yields or whatever it is. And I don't know. I think it's cool, but I agree. They're definitely not efficient. I don't think I would trade them personally. Like maybe if I wanted to gamble on sports or something like that, it could be.
It's very similar. It's better. It's better markets than sports markets, because sports markets could be up to 1,000 basis points to spread. The prediction markets are 100. But I follow Polymarket, but they're not legal in the U.S.
They're not.
So,
they're not.
so it doesn't help. It will be eventually, but they're not legal in the U.S. right now. So, I mean, great company, amazing tech, fun markets. I like everything they do, but that's it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Again, probably wouldn't trade them like directly. Maybe have once or twice. I literally actually just like bet on sports one time, but as far as like using them to stay on track of like the markets, I think they're actually pretty cool. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you can go. There's lots of sites out there like Predicted and which we like, and other things like that have fun, political markets and event-based markets and things like that. And I mean, it's going to grow. That space will grow a little bit. I don't think it'll ever compete with anything in the listed marketplace. I think it's always going to be like a second fiddle in a very, it's a binary marketplace. A binary marketplace are not strategic at all, meaning that if you want to bet on something, go make a bet. But a binary marketplace doesn't allow you to spread something off. They're not leveraged, so they're very capital inefficient. It's dead money. So once you pay for something, it has to sit there. Like if you want to bet on like the 2028 election, let's just say, your money is going to be dead for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Definitely. Or 20. It's 2.5 years. It's insane. So got to be really careful with some of this stuff and realize, there's a lot of markets out there that are very capital inefficient. Crypto is one of them, but event-based markets are way worse than crypto. And so you've got different things out there that you just have to be, okay, take a step back, check it out, play around with it if you want to, but it's nothing like the listed marketplace. Nothing.
Yeah. It's definitely be wary of it. I agree for sure. So do you think, because I know like there's a lot, like you said, like Polymarket is not even available in the US, and like places like Robinhood are trying to get them on there. Do you think it's worth their time to even get it on there? Do you think it's going to last, or do you
Well,
think
you
it's
can't
like,
get it on there. There's nothing. They're not. There is no legal course right now. I mean, I've been following those guys and talking to Shane, who's the CEO, since he was 20 years old. I mean, interesting kid, and really brilliant, vision and all that kind of stuff. So, super impressive. But at this point, who cares? It's not. It's nothing you can do until you can actually use it.
Exactly.
I mean, my focus has always been on things that individual investors, products and technology that individual investors can use to make them better. Either a better business person, a better entrepreneur, a better trader, a better investor, whatever it is. And passive, dead money investments don't really do that. So you have to be really careful about, like everybody's got this very, very broad range and these wide discussion topics. But in reality, when it comes down to practical stuff, the reason the option markets are so busy and dominate the whole industry now is because they're capital efficient and strategic. And there's nothing else that does that. You can't do that in a binary marketplace.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. Well, good insight there. But I don't know if you want to take over the screen and show off tastytrade. I don't know if you're looking at any earnings plays. Someone in the chat was asking for Apple ER prediction. I don't know if maybe you want to show up.
Bring up my, I can't control anything.
Yeah, I'll go and add you. There you go. You're up there.
Okay. So this is kind of the Tasty platform, the core platform. And like, if you wanted to bring up, just as an example, like if I brought up Apple, you can see the expected move is right here. So the expected move in Apple for the next 16 days, well, I'll make it easier for you guys. You can see all expirations. So the expected move in Apple right here for the next 2 days is $7. So it's pretty big. But that's just because of everything that's going on with earnings right now and the NASDAQ being up 200, because this Tasty platform is in real time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This platform never sleeps. I mean, you can trade crypto around the clock, you can trade spot Forex, you can trade futures, whatever it is. And so all our volatilities and all our expected moves, but this is the expected move over here. So you can see it's 770, but if you want to go out to August expiration, it's 1110. And this is all real time. And this is kind of the newest technology on the street, and nobody else has this kind of stuff.
It's very cool.
If you want to go out to September, it's about $15. And so if you wanted to know, like, what is the statistical chance of that $15 number coming into play, it's plus 70%. So and that's as good as you can get in the world of finance. So basically, you kind of get just over that one standard deviation, and you get to the ranges of that distribution curve, and then you're sitting there, and those numbers are tradable, so they're real. It's not like something completely subjective.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. And so for people that maybe don't know, like how you guys trade over at tastytrade, you're generally selling premium. So you're selling puts and calls, usually out of the money, usually strangles for earnings, right? Based on this expected move. So you're basically you're betting for it to stay within the expected move.
Yeah, like I'll give you an example. In this particular account, which is just like kind of a demo account, we did some stuff for you today. Like in Robinhood here, we sold some 1 day strangles. So I sold in here 25 1-day strangles for, let's just say, about $1.60, $1.70, but 25 of them. And so, the expected move in there was just over $9. The actual move right here, you can see it's unchanged. It's literally unchanged. Crazy.
Yeah.
So these things they're 1 day to go. They'll be zero tomorrow.
Exactly.
So we'll pick up, I don't know, it's probably, about a $4,000 winner. It's just short premium with 1 day to go. Now that can backfire on you, because if I go to, for example, in here, because I tried to put some stuff on so you guys could see this, but if you go to Microsoft, I sold some calls at the 550 strike because I went 2 times the expected move. only 10 left, so it's nothing. But the stock is five. Oh, actually, it just sold off. It was 551 a minute ago. So these were losers. Now they're going to be kind of a scratch right up
Okay.
here. But
Yeah.
I
Take
mean,
that, right?
that's our approach in Meta. You can see Meta up here. This is the position. All that we did in here was sell some calls, and we sold the 790s with 1 day to go. The stock is 757. So these should be pretty much zero tomorrow. So I mean, that's a premium sales. You live dangerously. You're picking up your quarters and dollars in front of your steamroller, but we play a probability game. 2 times the expected move. That's kind of our world. Roblox, the same thing. It's $16 expected move. It looks like, I don't know if the number came out yet, but if it did, it looks like the stock didn't move.
I think somebody said it might be tomorrow morning. Let me double check.
Oh, it's tomorrow morning? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think it came out yet.
Yeah.
But we did the same thing in there. We played it for 2 times the expected move, and we'll see what happens. But Tasty is designed so that we're a facilitator. We're a HFT platform. We're a high frequency trading platform that is the facilitator of whatever it is you want to do. So if you want to trade, stocks, go ahead. You want to trade options, go ahead. You want to trade, futures, go ahead. Futures options, go ahead. Crypto, go ahead. Spot Forex, go ahead. Will there be event-based trading on here? Sure. They'll be up in a few months. But
nice.
we don't care what you trade. We don't care what strategy you use. We don't care what you do in whatever kind of account. We're the only firm that lets you trade anything you want in any type of account. We don't care if it's an IRA account, regular, whatever. And so we're just facilitators. We build cool software and we're facilitators. That's our model.
Oh yeah, that's incredible. You guys are traders building a platform for traders, and it really does show. I do have a Tasty account. It's a great platform. Definitely, if you're looking to get into trading, like active trading, especially, like Tasty is definitely great spot to go. 100%.
Well, we spent 20 years of our career in market making in the S&P 100, and then we built Thinkorswim, and then we built Tasty. So it's just been a short little 44-year journey. Just a quick one around the block. But we're still doing it, still loving it, and really enjoying enjoying watching the growth in the space. That's why I'm happy to see what Robinhood has been able to do for the space, and what other firms, with innovative technology, what Coinbase has been able to do, and what Polymarket's been able to do. Just all that kind of innovation. Everybody leaned on us for so long. It's kind of nice to see other people do it. And I'm very appreciative in that regard, because, it just brings more players to the game.
Yeah. I mean, you've been there since day one, with Thinkorswim, you co-founding Thinkorswim, like that was like probably the go-to platform. I was even, trading back then, but I'm sure it's the go-to platform for everybody that's trying to be an active trader, and you're just still going at it. And now there's,
well, it's funny.
It really exploded.
We were trading in the S&P 100 pit back in in the 90s, in the 80s and 90s, but in the late 90s. And we saw the markets were going to go electronic. It just looked like the writing was on the wall.
Yep.
So I stepped out of the pit one day and said to my buddy Scott, let's do something different. We've been busting our ass here for 20 years, standing in one spot. Let's try something different. And we didn't really know how to build technology. It was hard, obviously it's hard for us because we're pit traders. And we found some really good technologists, and we partnered up with them, and we started from scratch. And we just had some great designers and some really smart developers, and it took about a year and a half to build Thinkorswim, and it wasn't that stable at first, but it was a beautiful platform, really beautiful. And and people it became a cult-like platform, and still around today. It's like one of the biggest platforms in the world.
Yeah, no, it's still, again, an amazing platform. It went from, you guys sold it off to TD Ameritrade, and now Schwab owns it. So people love it still. And then, you built the new tastytrade platform. It's crazy. Like, you're really the pioneer of like modern trading brokerage, or at least the trading platform.
We'll take it. If that's my legacy, I'll take it. It's better than the other stuff.
Yeah. And like what we're doing, like, we're not a broker here at TrendSpider, but we have like the trading tab, and there's access for Tasty Trade in there, so you could place trades, from the charts here and all that. So,
Well, this has been really good, and it's been fun talking earnings with you. And we should do this more often, because this is like, it's kind of, I don't really do the kind of the post, after the close type earnings discussions
yeah,
and things like that. But it's fun, and I like it. And on a day like today, when you've got, Meta and Microsoft and Hood. Let's see, where is Hood now? Yeah, it's unchanged. And tomorrow morning, Roblox. There was a bunch of others like Qualcomm and a few other ones, but I mean, on a busy day, top it off with a bunch of earnings plays, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, Tom. It's very great to have you. Definitely, we should do it again. It just depends on earnings season. I usually go live quite a bit, just to watch the earnings together. I was live for FOMC earlier. So just all these events, like whenever you want to come on, just let me know.
Sure. Well, yeah, just give me a holler. I mean, I'm always around. Like I said, I'm a junkie, so I'm always in front of my screen. So anytime you want.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Tom.
All right. Take care, everybody. Appreciate it.
You too. Yeah.
Thanks.
Have a good one, everybody. Bye.